The pitch can be a lonely place, I think.
Can it?
Yeah, very lonely.
Spells where you're losing games, maybe John less so, but maybe spells where you're not playing so well. If you make a mistake and it's a goal, you've got obviously all these thousands of people watching you, and you just feel like you're on your own.
Mental Health Awareness Week is an annual event all about focusing on achieving good mental health. It's a topic that's extremely close to my heart, and this year's theme is loneliness. I'm pleased to say I'm going to be sitting down with two of England men's senior players, Nick Pope and John Stones. Hi Pete, Stonesy, how are you boys?
Good, are you?
Yes, very good, thanks. Now this is an important conversation, we're talking about mental health, so we'll go into your individual stories in a bit, but I suppose just wanted to start by asking you what good mental health means to you, John.
It's a difficult way to answer it, I suppose. You know in yourself as a person when you're happy and when you're free of any dark thoughts or anything towards that way of not being yourself. So I think sometimes when you're happy and when you're around people and you're in a positive mindset, that's you being in a good place almost, and it's hard to kind of define that.
Yeah.
It's almost a feeling within yourself.
But the thing about mental health, it doesn't discriminate, does it? Mental health issues can affect anyone at any time.
Yeah, I think obviously being a footballer, there is lots of positives, and it's good to have that appreciation for that, and have some gratitude towards just being a professional footballer, which so many people dream of doing, and you have the opportunity to do that. But I think as a footballer, you still doesn't mean that it's all rosy every day of the week. No. You still go through spells where you're losing games, maybe John less so, but maybe spells where you're not playing so well. And when as a goalkeeper, especially, if you make a mistake and it's a goal, and you've got all the eyes are on you, and you feel like you're really on your own out there, and you've got obviously all these thousands of people watching you, and you just feel like you're on your own.
If you make one mistake, a lot of the time it ends up as a goal, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's something that goes back to your character really, and how you respond to things, and something that you can always work on. I think growing up, because as a goalkeeper, you've made mistakes your whole life, and they've resulted in goals, and it's about practicing how you react to things like that, and putting it to the back of your mind and concentrating on what happens next. I think that's something that's stood me in good stead.
I think almost back when I was 18, 19 and coming through, you couldn't say anything like that.
Really?
It was kind of maybe the environment that it was, and everyone was seen to be this strong character, this robust person, and probably quite the opposite at the time. But you couldn't show any weakness, and that's definitely changed. Everyone's got the weaknesses, and I think we know our weaknesses as individuals from a football aspect, and we try and improve them all the time. So why not take the other part of it, of our mental health and our mental state, and how can we improve on that as well, or help other people improve on it. So yeah, it's definitely changed and going in the right direction. And these things have evolved so much, and rightly so. I think it's been made more aware and more publicised, I suppose, what goes on, what the struggles are, and how we can deal with that, because it's so important. On and off the pitch, you go through things and struggles, maybe positives, setbacks, and you've got to learn to deal with that. And sometimes, without knowing it, once you voice it in the changing room, some people have been through that and found coping mechanisms, and it's great to get that advice and feel that you've got those people behind you that you work with every day, and it's a massive boost for football in general. Us having the platform that we do, speaking out on it, for younger kids, anyone, any England fan, any of our club fans, we've got such an incredible platform to be able to help them and speak about it.
Yeah, and like you say about having the social media platforms now is massive to be able to help other people, and I think that has spread the word about mental health and how important it is for people. And obviously, with the generation growing up now, me and John, social media for us 10 years ago was not half what it is now.
Yeah.
So they've all got new problems or new issues that are coming up that are around mental health and around social media. I think we can help young people realise almost, we didn't have to deal with that, but like John was saying, we can help normalise, that there are different mental health problems that different people, find.
You mentioned social media there. Obviously, there's a lot of positives to social media. You can engage with fans, and you can get players and fans can become close together. There's obviously negatives as well, as you touched upon, because you are scrutinised all the time, and you can see what people are saying about you.
Of course, there's not really a filter, for that sort of thing. It's something that I think, has come to light a lot with, a lot of the racial discrimination that's gone on out, basically, and other discriminations against lots of people for nothing that they've done on purpose, and there's not really been much, retrospective action from that, because it is such an open book. I do believe that's something that will get better, and that is a negative of social media at the minute. But like you say, there are positives as well, and that's something that that is in our control. The positive impact that we can portray and we can help out with.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about loneliness, because the theme of Mental Health Awareness Week this year is loneliness. So you've achieved so much. I suppose, when have you experienced those feelings of loneliness, and how difficult have those periods been in your career?
The pitch can be a lonely place, I think.
Can it?
Yeah, very lonely. Things aren't going well for you as an individual sometimes. You feel the weight of the crowd. You feel the weight of the pressure on your own shoulders that you put on yourself, because you know you can do better, and you know you've got that standard. I think for me, when I was out of the team for quite a while, maybe a year or so, maybe a bit more. At the start, it was difficult. I was questioning myself. What was I doing? What could I do to get back in the team? And it spirals. I think anyone that's been in a difficult place or a dark place, you can't see the light at sometimes. So yeah, I did a lot of self-reflecting and a lot of self-criticism, which is never easy, but I think it's the best way to go about improving.
Obviously, you had a serious injury which kept you out of the Euros last summer, knowing that you had such a great season. You were going to be selected, but then couldn't because of injury. How tough was that period of your life?
Yeah, really tough. I think you break it down and realise that the tournament's a once in a lifetime thing. Our home tournament. Also now hopefully I'll be one in about 6 years, but I don't know if I'll still be about then. But yeah, you realise that a home tournament at a Euros is really a once in a lifetime thing, and just going to a tournament in general is, you might only get 3 or 4 in your career that you're even playing, that you're able to go to, you're available. So myself in that situation, it was what it was. I needed the surgery. I couldn't have played without doing it. It needed to happen. It was just the timing of it was just not ideal. But that is part of life, and part of football is how you react to that sort of thing, and realising that won't be the last bad thing that happens to me. And to kind of make the most of it. I was lucky enough to go to the final and watch the boys, and very much enjoyed the journey that they all went on from afar, and I knew what a great group it was, both on and off the pitch. So and I was so sure of how good a tournament that they would have.
Really, yeah.
It was great to see that kind of come into fruition.
Yeah, I was just thinking then, like, it's we've got the mentality or this culture that we've created, and Nick obviously wasn't there in the summer, but has come straight back in, and he's part of that family again. And it's like he's never left, because he was still there. He still knew what was going on in the camp in that period, and everyone's been a part of our journey, which is unique, and that's part of us as a team buying into these sort of things that we're trying to expand and improve ourselves.
Yeah, like you say, something maybe 10 years ago wasn't a thing. But now definitely, the support's everywhere. Whether you're new in the camp or you've been in every camp, it's something that is really obvious, and really a big part, I think, of having a successful team is having everyone in good mental health.
John, I've seen you talk about mental health in the past, and I've got a quote here that you said, which reads, "I've definitely struggled on the mental health side of things at times, and I probably didn't talk enough, and that was my downfall." So how important has it been for you to open up to people when you have been going through low points?
Yeah, at that time I had the mentality of probably a lot of boys, men in the world of, I can deal with it, I can do it by myself. And speaking out to the people that I trust, and as I said just before, it helped a lot. It helped just venting things at
Getting
times.
it off your chest.
Yeah, just getting it off your chest. Yeah, probably my biggest advice is if someone's feeling lonely or in a dark place, to try and speak to someone. And a bigger challenge is for the people that are around that person. This is probably more for them, is to ask the person that you can see, or physically, whatever, emotionally, you can see that they're hurting or in a bad place. You know, how are you? Would you like to speak?
Yeah.
And not just stop at that.
Not just, you're right, mate, but actually delving a bit deeper.
Yeah, but not stop at that, because you know it's so easy to go, yeah, I'm all right. It's the next day, or the afternoon, the night, the next morning. I challenge those people to not stop and make sure that they can do more for the person that they know is in a dark place.
I think you explained it really well, and I've got to say, reading that quote from you, I'm not afraid to admit I've had real battles with my own mental health, and the biggest thing for me was that I didn't tell anyone. I mean, 4 years ago, the thought of me doing this in front of 3 cameras with 2 England players, I wasn't speaking about anything, but the biggest thing that helped me was talking, and it sounds like such a cliche, but when you do open up and admit you've got struggles, it's like a burden lift. And I suppose the attitude you had with your injury was such a positive one. You spoke about your support network, and it was so interesting hearing you talk about that. What advice would you have for people that might be struggling with their mental health?
I think something we spoke about today is controlling the controllables. That's something that we speak about at the club and also here, so it's interesting to see John say that as well, because them things that are out of your control are really some things that you can't be helped, and some things that you can't have an effect on, but they can affect you. So I think that's something that stood me in good stead with kind of on the positive side of my mental health is trying to really affect what I can affect and really look after them things. And if you're not happy about something, what's maybe only something really small that you can change to like make it better, and take that first step in the right direction. And that first step, if it's in the right direction, is a positive one. So, and then you look at the next step after that, and the next one, and you take one at a time until you are feeling in a better place, and you don't stop there. And that just because you feel slightly better, you can keep going and keep going. Really have this kind of evolving thoughts of when you're in a good place, can I go in a slightly better place? And I think as a footballer, you always want to be improving. I think off the pitch as a person, I think that's something that can go for life as well.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant advice. Lads, I've got to say, it was a really open, honest chat, and thank you so much for giving up your time and giving great advice as well. And I totally agree. I think if people are struggling, it's good to talk. Thanks very much, lads.
Thank you.
Catch up soon.
Thank you.